1 maxed out MacBook Pro, 1 iPad Pro, 1 Springboard bootcamp. Yo, this is Oscar and I am coming back to the design world. Will these tools help me become a professional product designer within these next couple of months? Welcome to my series on Dodefy, my journey to becoming a product designer. Welcome back to another episode on Dodefy, my journey to becoming a product designer. This is week 6 for Springboard, and I wanted to talk about a couple of things regarding my experience on my 6th week. So one of them is my Springboard overall experience. I want to say Springboard is a bootcamp for UX and UI career. Those are who are interested in that specific career field. They could join Springboard, which is a bootcamp that is 9 months long, that requires you to complete several courses and projects and overall have mentors and advisors. So my overall experience right now for the first month was pretty good. I like how I have mentors telling me and giving me feedback based on my work. I really enjoy that because I feel like that way it allows me to grow and know what mistakes I made throughout my past work. So I would suggest and recommend actually Springboard a lot to many of you that are either looking into a bootcamp for UX and UI designer, or for those that need a guidance, because before that I was actually doing UX and UI, but it was more like in sections and not like in a continuing pathway as opposed to the Springboard bootcamp. So Springboard bootcamp actually offers a linear way to learn this specific career. Like as opposed to before, I was learning in sections and learning this and that, and it was like going everywhere, which was really confusing at the time. And I felt like I needed a better grasp for UX and UI, and that's why I decided to go for registering for the bootcamp on Springboard. So that's another way. And then there's also UX and UI designers that you could actually have a call with and ask for feedback, or basically talk to them anything about what you're interested or what their experience was or what field they're working at, and just overall get to know them and know what kind of work they do in the work environment in order to meet those standards and for yourself to work in that field. So yes, I overall recommend Springboard. I think it's a excellent program. It's great bootcamp. I don't really like saying bootcamp, like, oh, I'm in a bootcamp. I prefer to say it I'm in school, because I feel like when I was in college, I was always saying, oh, I'm in school. And I don't know if people would think as bootcamp less of school, but I think it's exactly like school. So it's probably like a personal thing, but either way, I think of it as a school. So I was able to actually talk to several advisors, but it is recommended for the program to schedule calls like a ton between every other week, like just schedule a ton. And it could be overwhelming because you might be behind in coursework or worrying about doing this in the course and having a call with the career coach is like pretty overwhelming for a lot of you guys, and including me. I met some friends that actually have felt overwhelmed when they have things to do and then they add more things to do and then more things and then work and more things, and it just gets overwhelming, So yeah, but I encourage you to either do it, like once you're over it, then you're like, oh, I'm glad I actually did it. And also you get like the best of the program throughout getting more career coach calls. So basically a career call is when they give you advice on how to look for jobs or how you can do to improve your portfolios, your resumes, your cover letters, basically anything that markets you in the industry. They help you with that. So it's incredible. But another thing is that they actually also push you to do your best, to do more, to do this and that. So like you're adding additional things to your agenda. So like that's why you're kind of like me myself. I'm kind of like, hey, I haven't really done what they asked me to do, and I'm a little scared to talk to them again. And if I do talk to them again, they're gonna be like really like upset about me that I haven't been doing it. But actually, I'm trying to stay up to date, like with their recommendations, what they mentioned, trying to get those things fast, quickly done, and getting on and moving on with the next career coach call in another week, perhaps. Yeah, so that's basically my recommendation with career coaches. Just get it over with and do as they say, and just keep on continuing your work and more career coach, mentor calls, all that. So that's one of the main reasons I ended up joining Springboard, was because of the mentor calls and the advisors and all that. So it's definitely worth it so far. And then I'll leave in the description below a $750 discount for Springboard for enrolling. So that'll definitely help you out to get into the program. And I think $750 is a pretty good deal, you know. All right, let's move on. So right now, last week, let's talk about week 6. Yeah, week 6. So it's my week 6, and I wanted to mention that this is like my current UX research phase where I'm working on my capstone, and I'm running into like some difficulties, like understanding a little bit like the UX research side. And like as I'm working more on my capstone, I'm getting more feedback from my mentor, which she's like absolutely amazing and awesome. And like, let's say if I didn't actually have a mentor, like who would I ask for help? And that's another reason why I ended up joining the Springboard, because of that. Because sometimes, like I know myself, like in school, back in college, when we had to write, our classmates had to write our first APA paper, and I struggled a lot with that. I ended up getting like an F or a C, like really, really low grade that I'm not used to actually getting back in college. And I thought like the teacher might be wrong, or like I was like hurt that I got a bad grade. But then I ended up going to her office hours, and we ended up talking a lot about my paper and how I didn't meet like specific requirements that were needed in the paper. And that helped me up, like open up a lot, like, and study more and practice more. And in order to get the grasp, you know, that grasp that you feel like more confident. And after working hard and working more on my paper, I ended up getting, I think it was an A on that paper that I redid. And then after that, my papers ended up being like A's, and maybe B's. I don't remember, but I ended up doing way better. And this relates to my capstone project, which like right now, it's hard for me to understand like the UX research side, because I'm like more of a designer side, like the UI. My expertise is more on the design side. But the UX research is really fascinating and interesting to get into. But yeah, so don't be afraid to open up and say that you're struggling, because that will actually help you grow in the industry. So yeah, talk to people that you know, talk to designers that you know, and ask them for help all the time. You know, that's how you're able to grow. So that's how I'm able to grow too. So I strongly recommend that. So another thing we did in the 6th week on Springboard was informative interviews, which basically is going on LinkedIn and contacting UX and UI designers and just getting to know them, you know, getting to know them more and know what they do in the industry and what they actually do, and any recommendations, basically like an in-depth to their job and the requirements, and like an everyday life kind of sort of thing in their job. And I think it's very useful if you're actually looking into becoming a UX and UI designer. Get to know people that actually work in the industry in order to get a sense of how it feels to work in the industry. This could like apply with anything, Like it could be anything. Like if you're interested in any industry, talk to people that are already in the industry, you know? So yeah, I still need to do that. And yeah, I'll talk about my experience once I actually do informative interviews, you know, to let you know how I did with those. It could be like intimidating, especially for some people that are not used to talking a lot to others, but I'm sure you guys could do it, you know. Get on it, message them, contact them, be like, I want a phone interview with you. Do you have time? And meetup would be good, but not right now, you know. But yeah, that's basically it for my week 6 for Springboard. Hopefully you guys like my update, my advice, and leave a like if you did, you know. That'll help a lot. And subscribe too, you know. So yeah, that's basically everything I had to say. So for the next one, peace out.